I found myself sitting in my classroom doing these science kits and looking out the window and seeing all this incredible surrounding ecosystem and thinking, why are we sitting in a classroom all the time? Now you have a teacher and a scientist working together, and that to me is my dream.
You're going to lift up rocks. A lot of sediment is going to swirl around. You're going to want to wait for that sediment to settle, and if you do, you're likely to see a crayfish right underneath that rock.
Really, you can do the unit in the classroom, but what the students are really doing is creating a model of an ecosystem. What I think is so cool about what they're doing at Burn Knox Westerlo is they're building that model, then they're going out and really looking at a real ecosystem.
Before we went out, we had a chance to talk about what are the biotic and abiotic elements of an environment, which is exactly how these ecosystems start out. It gives you a chance to on a very small scale, look at what we see out in the bigger community ecosystem of the Huyck Preserve and break it down. And it's the draw, it's the thing they come to every morning. It's the first thing they look at. They've named their fish, so they do have a connection.
I think you're right. I can see you on the tip. Yeah. Mommy! Let's get it to your bucket. Let's mark it.
So the unit is really all about students developing content information about food chains and food webs and plant and animal adaptations. But then it moves into a series of lessons where they look at the human impact on ecosystems. What Agnes had done was connected with the educator at the Huyck Preserve to have the kids go there and really take part in maybe an actual research project, or really to see, what are the components of an actual ecosystem that are in their backyard.
When we're out, we're going to fill our buckets with water, identify the crayfish, mark them on their sheets. If it's not marked on your sheet, it doesn't count. And we're going to compile all this data together. And these light in color, and like I said, it's going to be larger than your other ones. Good job.
Yes! Oh, God! Got it!
This particular lesson was just looking at aquatic biology in general, and then invasive biology more specifically, and the effects of, or not sort of the effects, or what the populations of invasive crayfish are at the Huyck Preserve.
They're big!
Can you tell by color?
I have a feeling that's what it is.
Giving them techniques that scientists actually use that are sort of accessible for the fourth graders, so they can see why we do science and what type of science happens, because it's easy to say, oh, a scientist says, but it's a lot better when you can say, here's what a scientist does, now you do it too.
Look at you, they're holding a crayfish! So far, all of them are clear water.
Did you see him? Did you see him carrying his head?
Again, the Science and Technology for Children is a National Science Foundation developed inquiry-based program. The curriculum is really designed along physical science topics, so for grades K through 6 and actually even up into grade 8. For a teacher using this curriculum, they really would be aligning to all of our current science standards.
The SDC kits were going to give me the tools I needed to not just do the science with the students, but also learn the science. Because as we all know, elementary school teachers are not all science teachers. We're all everything. And so we need the support of resources, many times outside of a classroom and outside of a school district. And it was just very exciting to see how you could have all the resources you need in one box. I feel like these SDC kits are the sort of, the gold mine of what we have as far as resource to teach science. There's just so much they're doing. I sometimes take a lot more time than my prescribed amount of time I'm supposed to be taking for science, to do science, because we just get caught up in it and we just keep going with it.
We have a lot of crayfish.
Come on, let's go catch more.